Okay, so you've already taken the step to rip a few DVD movies onto your Mac. Now you want to make those DVD images that you have ripped that are on your Mac into a format that's viewable in iTunes or that you can export to any type of portable video device. Well, in order to do that, you need a conversion program. And let's talk about Handbrake, which is one of those programs. Now, I'm assuming you've already installed Handbrake and you've got it running okay. And now let's talk about how to use the program. So let's launch Handbrake here, and it'll default open up to a location on your computer where you stored your movie files. Now, in this case, it's the movies folder, and that's where Rip It places the files by default. Now, you can see I have some movies here that can be converted, and one of them is Inglourious Basterds. So let's go ahead and create a converted copy of Inglourious Basterds. So choose the file, click open. It'll scan through. Great. Now the file is ready to be converted. Off to the right, we have different types of presets which work great. These presets have video and audio already configured to certain configurations, and you can see we have some very common choices here. I found that this universal setting works the best for video and audio. Now, down in this box here, you can see what you've got. So the Inglourious Basterds RIP was 720 by 480p, which is normal for a DVD. Handbrake will create a file in these dimensions, which are basically identical. You might wonder why 352 is identical to 480. The reason why is the 480 includes the black bars you see on the top and the bottom of the movie. Handbrake is smart enough to realize that the actual movie itself is only 352, which is why you see that number here. So we know we're going to get this file. What's it going to look like? Well, if you click on the preview window, you can see what we're going to get in the final copy of the movie after Handbrake has finished converting it. Now you just want to double check with the preview window what you're going to get. You can also check to make sure that the sound is going to be okay. And if you click on live preview, you can actually see and hear what you're going to get, a short 30-second snippet. So let's go ahead and check.
The Führer and Goebbels propaganda have said pretty much the same thing, but where our conclusions differ.
Now what I checked for here is I wanted to make sure I had the whole video image on the screen. It's really like detail off to the right and detail off to the left, and that I'm not getting anything cropped off. And the image, as you can see, looks perfect. So we're going to be happy with the final product. The last thing to note here is that, of course, you can change the name. The default location will be the desktop, which is a great place to put it. I'll just call this file a different name. There we go. Once we're ready, all we need to do is click Start. Several things happen. You'll see a progress bar open up on the bottom. In addition, off to the right, you'll see that Handbrake has already created the file slowly, and it'll take a little time to build, but there it is on the desktop. And the ETA, depending on your conversion settings, will be anywhere from, say, around 30 minutes to 2 or 3 hours, depending on the quality of the encode. And the quality settings, obviously, the higher they are, the bigger the file. And that's basically it. One other nice thing about Handbrake is you can queue up multiple jobs because, as you can see, this is time consuming. If you were to, for example, now want to encode another movie, let's say Star Trek, all I need to do is click on Source, and I've got the Star Trek DVD RIP here. If I click on Open, it'll scan this. And you can see this is a preview of what we're going to get with the Star Trek one. And again, I can set the settings if I wanted them to be different. Oh yes, and let's talk about that for a second. So the output is going to be 720 by 386, which I believe is going to be okay for an Android high-def phone. But let's say for any reason you want to change this, for any number of reasons. Let's say that the encoded file, after you check it, is too large. Well, with Handbrake you can set how large you want the file to be in the end by changing the target size. If I choose this setting here, it's going to be 700 megabytes, but as you can see, I can change it. If I've only got a little bit of room, I can change it to 200 megabytes. The quality you're going to see is probably going to be shit, but well, it'll fit. Also, you can change the dimensions of what you're going to get. If you click on the picture settings button here, you can see that I got width 720 by 368. These numbers can change, and you can see as I change them, this is changing down here as well. Again, though, you wouldn't necessarily want to tweak these too much, but you certainly can. You can even blow off the ratios completely if you wanted to, but that just gives you an idea of exactly what you want to encode. The presets in most cases are going to be fine, but you can see you can do something like that if you've got a sick warped sense of humor. Okay, so if you were happy with the settings as they are, you can go ahead and then click Add to Queue. And what it'll do is it'll just simply put this job in, and it'll work on this Star Trek encode after it finishes the Inglourious Basterds burn. So this program, you can see, is very convenient. Once you've got all your rips on your computer, you can just simply queue up all the conversions and go to bed. When you wake up in the morning, you're going to have a bunch of movie files ready to go. Now, these individual files, you can see they're just regular iTunes-looking files. They're video files. They can be played with any video player. Now, if you want to bring it into iTunes, all you need to do is double-click once it's finished. Double-click on the video file. It'll open up in iTunes. It'll copy itself in iTunes, and it'll appear in the movie section of iTunes. And you can then copy it to any device you like. Or you can simply copy this video file into any video playing device, and it'll work just fine. And that's about it.